Everyone knows that the residential real estate market has been on fire. Inventory is at an all-time low due to multiple offers made as soon as a house is listed. But what about the commercial real estate market? What's the landscape for that? Well, if you're like many of the business owners that I've spoken to recently, you may be evaluating the commercial lease that you're currently under for a variety of reasons. Perhaps you're looking to relocate. Perhaps you're looking to downsize. Or maybe you just want to see if it's possible to terminate your commercial lease altogether. Well, I hate to give you the lawyerly answer again, but it always depends, and it's best to have an attorney review your lease agreement to see what options you may have. But this video is going to talk about some common clauses that you should look for in your commercial lease to see if it's possible to end early. So let's get started. The right lawyer makes the difference. AFJ Law Group. I'm attorney Alexis Johnson of AFJ Law Group, a business litigation firm specializing in all things business and real estate transactions. Now, if you haven't yet and you'd like to receive weekly legal informative content like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This video is talking all about commercial leases and specific clauses you can look for in yours to see if early termination is possible. Now, as a business attorney who also holds a real estate salesperson's license, I've received numerous calls from business owners looking to terminate their lease early for a variety of reasons. Perhaps you need a bigger space because your business has grown substantially. Perhaps you need a smaller space because you've downsized and you don't need as much room. You've become efficient in different ways. And perhaps you need no space at all because you're going virtual. Either way, the goal is the same: to end your lease in an effective and affordable manner. So we're going to talk about some clauses that you can look for in your lease, but I'd caution that if you don't see these clauses in your lease, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your lease, and it also doesn't mean that you're stuck in it. It's helpful to have an attorney review your lease so you can see what options you have going forward. So if you have any questions, please reach out to my team, afjlawgroup.com, or you can call or text us at 248-266-2135. Now let's talk about what clauses to look out for in your lease. Now, when it comes to trying to figure out if you can end your commercial lease early, the best place to start is the lease. Oftentimes, there may be an express or written provision that details whether early termination is possible and what procedure must take place. If you don't have an express clause, check to see if your lease has either a bailout or co-tenancy clause. A bailout clause allows you to get out of the lease if your sales do not reach a preset level. A co-tenancy clause allows you to leave if an important anchor tenant leaves, which may be the case depending on your specific circumstances. Another important clause to look for is an assignment or sublease clause. An assignment is when you transfer 100% of your obligations under a lease to a new party. A sublease is where someone else comes in, takes over the space, and pays the rent, but you remain legally liable for it if they miss payments. Obviously, an assignment is preferable over a sublease because you avoid more potential liability. However, it's important to note that almost all commercial leases give the landlord the right to approve or disapprove of any possible new tenants under an assignment or sublease. Every lease and business owner will have specific challenges and advantages to ending a commercial lease early, so it's important to consider your personal circumstances. For instance, what is your relationship with your landlord like? Is the property managed by a large company, or is it privately owned and managed individually? Depending on the relationship, landlords may be amenable to negotiate or compromise on a request to end your lease early. It never hurts to ask. Another thing to consider is whether it's possible to identify a location that is also managed by the same landlord. A landlord is likely much more willing to allow for such a transfer when they have less to lose in a situation like that. However, it's always helpful to consult a lawyer to discuss your options and applicable laws to avoid a lawsuit down the line.